we're here together because we're colleagues. You have this specialty in cognac and in marketing and business, of course, all around that. My specialty is history and sustainability. So the question is, how do you see that intersection of sustainability and luxury, particularly through cognac?
So first, I think cognac is a luxury. And one of the reasons it's a luxury is it's very limited in its production, and it's limited by, without going into much details, it's limited by the fact that it comes from just one single area in the world. So it cannot be duplicated in multiple areas. And the area it's come from is a small area in itself in the southwest of France. So it's not an area that could be mass produced because of its size. I would say the other reason why it cannot be mass produced is also because it's very regulated. And so I won't go into all the details of the regulation. We could do that some other time because I think that's also very interesting. But all of these regulations very much limit the amount that can be produced. So for something to be a luxury, it needs more than being rare. But I think being rare is very, very important. What I like about the rarity of cognac is it's a rarity that makes it very sustainable. You know, is the people that are involved in the cognac business are not people that are opportunists. It is very difficult to join the cognac business and say, hey, I'm going to be a cognac maker. And there's always opportunists that are trying to join in it, but they get very disappointed very quickly because you need to have a very long stamina. So people that love history and are more interested in history than they are into making quick profits, oftentimes they like cognac because it's not an industry that is into quick profits, and it's an industry that is very much into building a legacy, building an history, liking what has happened before. And you have to like history because cognac in its way it's being produced, it's sort of the same that it was 100 years ago. So I think there's very little room for innovation in cognac. There's much more room for looking at what people have done in the past and try to adopt some of those methods that were sort of forgotten. So when it comes to sustainability, I think this is very important because people had problem with production in the past, you know, dealing with pests, for example. And a lot of people, because of new technology, adopted a lot of chemical to treat against bad herbicide, pesticides. And now we've entered an era where people are very interested in the legacy of the cognac, but also the legacy of the land of cognac. And a lot of them are going back in the past and looking at what people used to do because they also had issues. I mean, we can't forget that we had the phylloxera in 1860, which decimated more than 50% of the cognac, and people had to survive and keep being sustainable, and otherwise the industry would have disappeared. So people today are trying to do bio-organic, environmentally friendly, sustainable methods of production. So there's various levels, and there's also certification for that. And they are looking at methods to do good. And one of the things that comes to my mind is there's people actually that have horses, and they use those Clydesdale type of horses, and then they go between the vine, and they notice that this is what they used to do before, and that was taking care of the herbs, and that was in a way fertilizing in a very natural way. Right. So it's slower, it's very man-powered, but I think cognac is about luxury, and I think luxury is about doing things slow. Yeah. And so if you adopt a production which is slower, more ingrained with nature, I think you can do much better.
Yeah. So it's really interesting there. So luxury, slow, right? It's associated with the slow, deeper, and and like you said, it traditions, right?
Yes.
And this is where the history comes in. And historians, this is how our methodology is. It's slow, it's painstaking. Definitely doesn't, it tends to be slower than how some people want to get information, right? So, and you said like labor, this idea of labor, like going back to almost the handcrafted type of thing. So when I think of luxury, and I think when people think of luxury, that's comes to mind like the craftsman, the
Exactly,
Italian
yes.
leather maker who makes the shoes that instead of buying them at Target or wherever. So this is a really excellent first stab at tackling this intersection between sustainability and luxury. And I'm sure we're going to have many more interesting conversations about place and about methods and about globalization to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.